Hello, my name is Andrew. I want to introduce myself. Currently, I have 39 years of age. I am from the United States. I was born in New York City and moved to California, the San Francisco Bay Area, the Silicon Valley, more specifically, when I was quite young. I was born in 1985 and I moved to California in 1991, I believe, if I'm correct. I would like to make some videos to accomplish something with my life. I'm not exactly sure what type of videos I want to make, other than maybe videos that document some parts of my life and things that I think about and desires I have, dreams I have. And I would very much like to meet others from around the world with making these videos. And I'd like to develop some friendships, some relationships with wonderful people. And one dream that I have that hopefully can somehow be associated with making these videos is to travel the world, though it may be difficult for me because I do experience pretty profound or seriously debilitating disability from disease condition. But I would like to travel the world, and I would very much like to have property of my own somewhere. And I'd like this to be natural property with plenty of space, a significant amount of acreage, and to be near wonderful lands that have either forests or desert or somehow natural lands that are largely, if not totally, untouched by man, other than maybe to walk there, to hike there, to camp there, wilderness areas, things like that. Excuse me if I make any mistakes when speaking. I do have difficulty speaking and articulating myself oftentimes, and it is difficult for me to maintain coherent thought about one topic. Right now I tend to bounce from topic to topic and have difficulty focusing. So I will describe a little bit more about the condition I experience, since it is affecting me right now. And the condition I experience is schizophrenia. The condition has been very serious and has also impacted other parts of my nervous system, making it very difficult for me to work in physical ways. And it makes it very difficult for me to focus, to remember much of anything. My working memory is severely impaired much of the time. And I do hear voices and experience what some would call hallucinations, though I'm not sure how much of it is a hallucination and how much of it is an experience of some part of reality that is merely different than what others experience and is out of range or out of phase with the experience of most human beings and most animals and plants. Anyway, so I experienced schizophrenia. It has been a profoundly disabling disorder for me, and it is something I'm trying to heal from. I've been very focused for the last almost 10 years of my life on trying to heal from schizophrenia. Since my diagnosis of having schizophrenia, or for me experiencing schizophrenia, I have been focused on trying to heal and heal totally. I am also interested in recovering functionality that I had beforehand, and I was a highly functional being. I was very capable, I'll put it that way. I have dealt with disorganization throughout my life, and in some ways I've dealt with the incapacity to focus on specific tasks, to come to specific results. I have not been very goal-oriented for much of my life. I've had a lot of struggle developing goals and committing to them, but I am committed as well as I can be to healing from this condition and giving myself the best life I possibly can. So back to what I was talking about of what I might like to accomplish with this, with the channel that I have on YouTube, and maybe other areas of life that I might post in, or on the internet or the World Wide Web. I like the term the World Wide Web. Anyway, that's just a little aside. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how far this might go, how many people I might meet, if anybody's even going to be interested in listening to me. It's going to be a story largely, I think, of difficulty until it's not. And hopefully I will get to the point where it's not a story of difficulty so much, or maybe others might find beauty in the struggle and find something they like in the things that I have to say, even if they're disjointed and lack coherence and may oftentimes be just uninteresting to others. And even if there are so many subjects and topics that I talk about that there's not much coherence between videos, or from one video to the next, to the next, to the next. But anyways, back to something I want to accomplish with these videos, or with having a channel like this, is I like to meet people, and I'd like to be able to travel. I do like nice things. I prefer things that are high quality, that are really high quality. I like, or good quality. I often don't use the terminology high and low when talking about something like quality. I use good quality or poor quality, or improved quality versus decreased quality, instead of high to low. But that's kind of a quirk about myself, an idiosyncrasy that may not be actually an idiosyncrasy, because there's actually intelligence involved in why I do that, although some might call it idiosyncratic. But I'd like to meet people, I'd like to travel. I do like nice things like organic clothing and natural. I like natural things. I like products that are harmonious with nature, that are ecologically friendly and even supportive. I like things that last, and that are designed to last and last well, and that are designed to function and function well. And all that being said, I hope to be able to provide for myself in some way, because I am actually I'm experiencing severe disability, and I don't have much of a capacity to work. In fact, I can't really work for more than a couple of minutes on anything at a time, other than it's been 8 minutes and 43 seconds now that I've been making this video, and it feels like it's been a very long time, and I'm actually feeling like I need to stop right now. And one issue is, if I stop now, I may not be able to pick up again where I left off, because I can't review where I've left off very easily at all. I have such difficulty focusing on anything and remembering what I've done. I kind of live as if I don't have much of a memory at all. I'm experiencing severe impairment today, and it could be partially due to the medications that I take, and it could be partially because of exhaustion that has occurred over 30 years of my life, and it could be due to other disease factors from schizophrenia, and it's really difficult to know. But anyways, I'll try a little bit more. I want to make a good life for myself. I hope to accomplish something. One thing that I hope to do is get together people's and other lives too, like dogs and cats and birds and animals that like hanging out with humans and stuff. And I want to get together and I want to create healing. I want to help create healing for many, many beings. And I want to heal from schizophrenia for myself. I want to see others heal from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, other psychotic disorders, depression, anxiety disorders, as well as other conditions that are more physically based, that are not so much brain related, in the sense that it's not about mood, it's not about the functioning of the brain, the functioning of the mind, really, and whatever that relates to in the body, which might be a lot of the brain, but it might also be a lot of the rest of the body too, for many beings, where the mind is actually present in the body somehow and relating to the body in ways that we just don't understand yet. We haven't studied well enough yet to know. And I want to help many beings to explore healing and to get to know healing and to get control over their health and well-being. And I'd like to work with others to do this, and I'd like to do it in locations that are really beautiful and natural, and otherwise just really beautiful if there are city locations. And I would like to travel, even if it was difficult. I mean, one of the biggest hurdles is finances for me, because I can't work in any reasonable way. I can't focus. I'm trying to. I've got a bunch of projects that I'm trying to work on, including this one, but it's very difficult because I'm so isolated, and one of the reasons I'm so isolated is because of the conditions, the psycho-emotional conditions of the condition of schizophrenia, that isolate me in very severe ways and make it very difficult for me to interact with others and to connect in a way that is sustainable for me. I could meet you once, but then it might be so that we just lose touch, even if there was even if we for one experience had a really nice relationship. And a lot of that has to do with the condition of schizophrenia for me. There are patterns of psycho-emotional activities and habits, if they can be called habits, that sort of rob me of I don't want to sound like a victim too much here, but they make it difficult to be consistent in a way that is conducive to a more fulfilling lifestyle, in a way that I would see life as fulfilling, which is to have plenty of wonderful relationships with others. So I want to have relationships with others, and I want to help others to heal. I've known quite a bit about healing. I've explored healing quite a bit. I've healed myself from quite a lot of dysfunction in my past, to some degree or another, though some of it has come back. And some of it got worse. Well, specifically with regard to schizophrenia, things got worse. But I'm trying to figure out what's acceptable for my body and what's not, in terms of things to consume, which can include food, but also includes like tobacco. And for right now, I've quit tobacco, although it was really useful for me for a long while, as a support, as a kind of a psychological support. And now it no longer is, and may actually be contributing to psychosis. So I'm doing my best to stay away from that. But anyway, so back to healing, working with others, traveling, exploring life, having some nice things. I eventually want a property. I'd like to create an organization that has multiple properties in natural locations that are large properties, some as large as maybe 25 acres or so, some as large as hundreds of acres, if not thousands of acres, if not properties that have plenty of acreage and are abutting natural lands where one can utilize national forests, depending on what country you're in, something like a national forest, or wilderness lands, to be with nature and to utilize those wilderness lands so that people can focus on connecting with nature in a deeper and more profound way and utilize that for healing. There is a hypothesis or something of a theory that I have that basically stipulates the better one connects with nature and is able to open up to nature and be integrated with nature and allow the cadences, the rhythms, the patterns, the habits of nature to become one's own cadences and rhythms and patterns and habits, the healthier they're going to be, and it may actually contribute to healing in a very profound way, even from many diseases that have been believed to be terminal illnesses or lifelong illnesses that can quite possibly be changed with the correct procedures and protocols, which may include genetic disorders that can actually be changed in some way. And I want to work with others to do these things, and I'd love properties and an organization to where people could live and visit for significant durations, but live for a few months or half a year or a couple of years even, to work on transforming oneself and healing. And I'd like to be able to purchase these properties or be gifted these properties or somehow have some sort of lease of properties that may even be for small amounts of money. And I hope to somehow tie things into the videos that I want to make and have been making that I haven't posted yet, because I have made some videos that I haven't posted yet, and I hope this will be kind of the first video that I do post about who I am a little bit and what I want to do. And I hope to make the best life possible for myself and others. And I've been struggling a lot with issues of selfishness versus selflessness, or having a balanced sense of selfishness, which may not be selfish in the way some people have come to know the word selfish. It may just be considerate of oneself, to be self-considerate and self-caring in a way that is balanced and harmonious with being self-caring or caring for others, and loving of others. And I've been struggling with loving others recently because there's been too much trauma, and the trauma comes from schizophrenia, and the trauma also comes from society. The United States society right now is not the best society to be a part of, and there are many ways in which it's not the best society to be a part of. But I've personally dealt with the court systems, the judicial system, in a way that's not been good, and it may be so that I get totally relieved of any issue from the court systems, having not been convicted of any crimes, but somehow because of schizophrenia and because of police that don't know how to deal with people with schizophrenia when they're in extreme states of consciousness, and because of other issues of which I'm not totally aware, I was mistreated by the police very severely, and I actually got thrown in jail for almost a year and a half and sent to a psychiatric facility for about 7 weeks while I was in the middle of the term that I was in jail. This, I guess I can talk about mostly later, but I will say that the psychiatric facility was meant only, I got sent to the psychiatric facility by the court systems only to try to make me competent enough legally, so sane enough legally and competent enough legally, so that I could then be forced to stand trial and to be assessed and judged by the court system, to see if I could be punished. And I think that is a totally disrespectful and harmful way of doing things. Anyway, to get back to what I was talking about before, I'd like to very much to have to make relationships with others, and I would like to make wonderful relationships with others. I'd like to heal. I want to heal from this condition. Anybody who has information about people who have healed from schizophrenia, I've heard of a number of cases, about 10, maybe 11 cases of people healing totally from schizophrenia, or at least putting the disease into remission. There may have been 1 or 2 cases where the people put the disease into remission totally and completely. But I'd like very much to know more and to do that myself. I want to be functional. I want to be comfortable. I want to be full of life. I want to be healthy, happy, and free. I want to be prosperous as a being. I want to live with others and work with others. I want to work with nature. I want to work with the forests and the lands and the wetlands and the beach areas and the deserts and the lands of the world and the plants and animals and the fungi and all the life forms of the planet in such a way as to promote well-being and promote harmony. And I want to work with other people, and I want to spend time with other people, and I want to get to know other people, and I want to have friendships. And once again, I want to travel and see many places, and I do some photography here and there, and some of it's actually quite good. And I'd like to take maybe some more photos and videos, and I have an artistic side that I don't get to express very much because it's suppressed by the medications I take, and otherwise, or in other way, schizophrenia has impaired my capacity to be artistic, and I'd like to change that. So anyway, this is getting a little bit long, and I'm meandering with words now, and I'd like not to do that anymore. So for this now, I would like to say thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for using your time to pay attention to me as much as you have. And I hope you learned something, and I hope it was decently interesting, at least parts of it. And I hope there's more to come. I will say that these videos, they may be kind of difficult to watch, some of them, because I've been through a lot of really horrific things, and I have some things to say that might be very difficult for others to hear. And I might want to express some of those things. I do try to keep things, some would say keep them positive as opposed to make them negative, but I do try to keep things positive significantly, but sometimes it's just not really very possible for me to be very positive. And I'm learning that right now, actually. And there's much more to say, there's much more to think, but it would be best to let that happen in different videos. And I hope to get to know some of you, and I guess that's about all I have to say for now. So thank you for watching, and until next time, Tigger would say from Winnie the Pooh, ta-ta for now. Or TTFN, ta-ta for now.